What's going on, y'all? It's your girl Lily back with another video. Today is the day where I share my story. So I know a lot of y'all have been asking me, when would my surgery happen? What happened? How did it happen? Is this something that's going to keep happening to me? How did it, where did it come from? It's so many questions about it. So I figured now is the time where I sit here and I actually go into detail about everything. I am going to be posting up a picture of my tumor just to give you guys a fair warning. So if you are kind of grossed out about things like that, then I suggest, kind of skipping that part if you want to. But I'm definitely going to go into detail about, basically from day one to where I am today. So here it is, guys. So before I even know I need a surgery, this happened about 2016. I do work at Victoria's Secret, and at the time I was working overnights, floor sets, working all types of crazy hours, over 40 hours a week, over 50-hour weeks. Like, it was insane how much work I was putting into, into the job and everything like that. So I honestly didn't even have time to, live a life, I want to say. I was always, go to work, 10 o'clock at night, get out 12 p.m. in the afternoon, then to go home, take a nap, and come right back in at like 9, 8, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. And it was just craziness. So I was really dedicating myself to work, so I never really had time to do anything. I missed a lot of doctor's appointments. I missed family time. I missed, my time, my sanity, my mental health time. I wasn't, really like, all I wanted to do was just work. I was just putting my mind to work. So with overnights, you work and you eat at night, and I'm thinking in my head the whole entire time, guys, just keep that in mind the whole entire time. I'm thinking in my head that I am just gaining so much weight, and I'm just like, bro, I literally look crazy. Like, I don't know. I'm like, oh my God, like, I need to start working out. But when do I have time to work out? Because I'm always freaking working, So oh, y'all, this is really hard to talk about. I'm looking at myself, and I'm looking myself in the mirror, and I'm like, I just don't look right, I'm like, I don't like how my body looks. Like, I need to lose weight. I need to get on something. I need to do something. But it was crazy because on my stomach, you could see my veins on the side of my stomach. And I'm just like, what? Like, this... oh my, like, I could see my veins. I wouldn't say anything. I just didn't know. I was like, I'm just gaining so much weight that, like, I'm seeing things in my body that I've never seen before. I was living with my mom, and she's like, Aaliyah, you are gaining so much weight. And I'm just like, yeah, I know, Mom. These overnights, like, I'm just eating, middle of the night, whatever. And I'm just like, I don't know. So I would get people that would ask me, like, oh my God, how many months are you? And I'm like, I'm not pregnant. Like, I'm just not pregnant. So I would sit there and I would think to myself, like, damn, I'm gaining all this weight and people think I'm pregnant. I would go out to the clubs and they would try to offer, me and my friends drinks, but then look at me and be like, no, you're pregnant. Like, I can't give you a drink. And I'm like, bro, I'm not pregnant. And I just, that feeling of just thinking that everyone thinks I'm pregnant was driving me insane. And my anxiety starting to go up, and I'm just like, ooh, okay, let's take a second, whatever. So I try to put it past my head. I'm like, I'm just gaining weight. People is gonna keep asking me if I'm pregnant. It's not the first time that, I've heard people do this to people. When they see them gain weight, they automatically think they're pregnant. So, I just try to put it past my head. So one day was my cousin's sweet 16, and she was doing her sweet 16 downstairs of a church. So, it's been so long. I was so tired from work, but I was like, it's been so long since I've seen my family. I'm gonna go spend time with my family. So it was a Saturday. I was off on the next day on Sunday. I was like, why not? I'm just go, you know, have me some fun. This is gonna sound crazy. I was walking down the steps. So I don't know if you guys know, I don't know if I'm even gonna explain this right, but when you ever seen steps that have metal plates, like on the corner or the edge of it, it was like that. So I was wearing high heels, you know, I was wearing all white too, just so you guys know. And there was these badass kids, like bad as hell, playing around, you know, they playing, running up and down the steps, throwing ball. They was playing like kickball or something. I don't know what they were doing outside, but it was raining that day. So everything's so slippery, like, you know, the metal plates and the rod to hold on to was slippery, and the kid bumped into me and I lost my balance. All I remember is just me rolling down the steps. That's all I remember. So when I finally wake up, I'm in a hospital. And I'm like, where the hell am I? So my mom is crying, my dad's panicking back and forth, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, what happened? They like, you blacked out, you fell down the stairs, this, and the third, you hit your head, da da da. Like, my mom, you know, Puerto Rican moms, they go crazy when they hear all this stuff. She's like, oh my God, are you okay? And she's making me panic, and I'm like, Mom, I'm okay. Like, you know, at the time I didn't feel anything. Like, I just woke up and I didn't feel any pain, nothing. Doctor comes in, doctor's talking to me. He's like, oh, you know, we're gonna do a head scan. You hit your head pretty hard. Oh, can you stand up? So he does a test on me, stand up. My ankle was killing me. So I sprained my ankle. They do a scan on my head, they do a scan on my ankle, everywhere but my stomach. They didn't do a full body scan. Now, mind you, that happened on Saturday. We're now rolling into Sunday. So at the time, one of my friends, her mom was a nursing aide for my grandma. I'm gonna just say her name's D. You know, she know who she is when she sees this video. But mom and my mom were really cool. So her mom comes over to my house and she's talking to my mom about something. You know, they're talking and she's looking at me and she's like looking at my stomach, and she just looks at me and she goes, something's not right. So I'm like, what? She goes, something's not right. I'm getting emotional talking about it. So my mom looks at me and goes, yeah, and you know, I look at her and I don't say anything because I don't want her to worry, but I know something's not right. She tells me to stand up. I stand up. She feels on my stomach. She goes, Aaliyah, your stomach is hard. She's like, something's not right, Mommy. You gotta go to the hospital. And I'm like, I'm just gaining weight. She's like, no, you need to go to the hospital. You know, something's not right. I could feel it. My mom's like, as soon as I wake up, you know, tomorrow, we're gonna go to the doctors. We're gonna go to the hospital. I'm like, okay. We now rolling into Monday. I got my friend D with me. We get to the emergency room. I go up to the desk. You know, if anybody ever been to the emergency room, you go up to somebody and they ask you why you're here. And I go, I need someone to check my stomach. So she looks at me. She like pokes her head a little bit and she goes, you look pregnant. This is a nurse telling me this. I'm like, ma'am, I'm not pregnant. She like, you sure? She grabs a cup so I could take a pee, you know, pee in the cup or whatever. She hands it to me and she goes, you might be pregnant. You look pregnant. And she tries to joke about it. And I'm like, I'm not pregnant. In my head, I'm screaming, I'm not pregnant. I'm not pregnant. The nurses, they put me in a room and I'm waiting there. My friend D's still with me. You know, my nerves is out of control at this point. And a doctor comes in and, you know, he's asking me what's wrong. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong. Like, I'm not in pain, but I just need someone to check my stomach because it's been growing and I'm not, you know, I'm not sure what's wrong. I don't know if it's just because I'm gaining weight or if there's something really wrong. And he goes, well, what made you come? Well, when did it all start? And I'm just like, it's been happening for 2 months now. I work, retail job overnight. And I'm explaining that to him, overnight I'm eating. But I said, my stomach is really hard. I lift up my shirt. I said, look at my veins. They're popping out. That's been showing. And the only thing he could say to me was, well, why'd you come now? And I'm like, what? He's like, well, isn't it a little too late to be coming now? And he goes, do you think, he said, well, you look pregnant. And I said, I'm not pregnant. He said, you sure? I said, I'm not pregnant. I promise you I'm not pregnant. He goes out, and I just looked at my friend D, and I was so mad at the fact that a doctor was treating me that way. And I just was in such disbelief that they actually talk to people like that. I hear about it, but I've never had it happen to me. So when it actually happens to you, it's different. It's a different feeling. So he comes back in, and he has like an ultrasound, and he goes, I'm gonna put this jelly on your stomach. It's gonna be cold. I want to see what's going on. He puts the thing to my stomach, and he goes, oh. And I said, oh, what? And he's like, I think it's something with your kidneys. And I said, my kidneys? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Hold on. Like, my kidneys? And I just started panicking. So he goes and gets a nurse. A nurse comes in, and she looks at it. And she goes, and she's trying to put jelly on the other side of my stomach now. And she's looking, and she goes, I think it's her kidneys too. And I'm like, is it my kidneys or is it not my kidneys? I was just so confused on what was going on. I called my mom, because my mom dropped me off at the emergency room because she had to go back to work at the time. And I told my mom, I didn't think it was nothing too big. So I'm like, just go to work, I'm fine. I called my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I'm panicking at this point. I'm like, Mom, they said it's my kidneys and this, that, and the third. And she's like, what? Your kidneys? I'm coming. And I'm panicking. And he's like, don't panic. She's like, if you knew something was wrong, why didn't you come sooner? And I said, how many times do I have to tell you? I just didn't think nothing of it. I'm not feeling any pains. I don't know what's going on. Can someone please tell me what's going on? I don't know what's going on. So he's like, we got to get a full body scan so I can get a clearer view of what's going on. I go get the scan done. I come back into the room, and now I'm waiting there. So somebody comes in. It's an OBGYN doctor, who is basically asking me. She comes in, she's like, hi, how are you? So I'm freaking out. I don't know what's going on. So she goes, okay, well, I'm going to explain to you, what's going on. She's like, you have a mass in your stomach, which mass is tumor. It was some kind of tumor. I don't remember what it is. You have a mass in your stomach that is, and she kind of just shows on my stomach how big it is. So in my head, I'm thinking, it's not my full stomach that's that big thing. I'm thinking it's just probably the size of this in my stomach, latched onto one of your ovaries. And she's like, it's retaining a lot of fluid into your stomach. So I'm like, okay. She's like, we need to get you into surgery as soon as possible. I started freaking out. So I'm like, okay. She's like, we need to get you in as soon as possible. It's starting to push against your lungs. It was just so much going on. And I'm just like, I don't even know how to process all of this. So she comes back in, and she's basically making me sign all these papers, basically saying, you know, if anything goes wrong in the surgery, you know, would I want to be an organ donor? There's a possible chance that my ovary can't be saved. So, you know, am I okay with that? It's making me sign so much paperwork, and I'm just so scared at this point. She was super nice, super nice. I told her about the other doctor. I told her I didn't like how he treated me. I didn't like how he, you know, told me I should have came in sooner. And why am I coming now? Don't I think it's a little too late? It was just so, he was just so rude. She asked my family to leave so she could talk to me. And she's basically like, I know you're scared. And I said, I'm shit scared. My first surgery, and I don't even know what to expect. Yeah, I'm shit scared. She's like, I'll be right with you the whole entire time. And she was literally with me every day that I was in the hospital. She was by my side. And I was grateful for that, because she made me feel so safe. After she's done talking to me, she leaves for a little bit because she has to get on a phone call. She comes back and she said, I found you a doctor who's going to do your surgery. And she said, Aaliyah, he's the best doctor here. I'm not going to say what hospital I was in because I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. But if anybody wants to ask me, they can ask me. She said, he's one of the best surgeons that we have here. She said, I tried to make sure I got a surgeon that knew what he was doing and knew what to do. She said, you're going to be able to meet him tomorrow. Your surgery is tomorrow afternoon. I'm like, okay. She's like, you know, I'm going to get you admitted into a room. I go up to the room. And one of the nurses that was on the floor came in, introduced herself. She was super sweet. She said she was going to be the nurse that was going to be taking care of me, everything like that. She's like, you know, you can eat all you want until 12. I'm like, I can eat all I want? Okay. So I was like, I called my friend and I was like, bring me some McDonald's. And he like, what? And I'm like, bring me some McDonald's. And he came or whatever, he brought me McDonald's. At the time I had my cousin with me, and she said that she was not going to school. She said, I'm staying with you every day that you're in the hospital. I said, yo, that's lit. Like, you're a real one for that. So basically that day before my surgery, that night, I got a catheter put in. If you guys don't know what a catheter is, it's basically a bag that you pee in. I'm just gonna say that. So yeah, now it's surgery day. I'm shit scared. I wake up in the morning, my mom's there, my dad, my uncle, my sister, my cousin, and they're all eating Dunkin' Donuts and drinking coffee. And I'm like, y'all would drink this stuff in front of me when I can. So I was so upset. I was really trying to keep my spirit up, and I was really trying to not panic or whatever. So surgery happened. When I get inside the surgery room, the doctor that was with me the whole entire time, who told me about the tumor and everything like that, she was like, are you ready? And I was like, I don't have a choice at this point, do I? And she started laughing. And one of the other nurses that was inside of the surgery room was like, what's your name again? And I was like, Aaliyah. And she was like, ooh, Aaliyah, rock the boat, rock the boat. So I started laughing. And she was like, I'm gonna put you to sleep now, but I'm gonna put you to sleep, you know, with us playing Aaliyah in the background. So for you, I don't remember anything else after that until I wake up. And I wake up and I see my mom and my dad on the left side of me. And my dad was crying. That's probably the first time I've ever seen my dad cry. So I still can't feel nothing. I was woozy. So the nurse looks at me and she starts asking me questions like, hi, Leah, you know, how you doing? You know, she said, do you know what hospital you're in? I said, yes. Started asking me other questions and stuff like that. And I look at my mom, and the only thing I said to my mom was, I need some chapstick. My lips is chapped. That's all I said. I need some chapstick. And she started laughing. She's like, here she goes. She back. I don't remember anything after that. I was so high on medication. The medication was so strong. They put me back in the room the very next day after my surgery. After my surgery is when it all went down. The doctor who told me about the tumor comes in. She goes, hey, Leah, I'm going to try to sit you up now. And I said, sit me up. She goes, yeah. She turns on the light. She checks my scar. She's like, oh, he did such a good job, whatever. She's like, do you want to see it? I said, yeah. She takes my phone. She takes a picture of it. She shows me, and I said, wow, that's how I look right now? She said, yeah. She said, unfortunately, it was so big, he had to cut around my belly button. So I'm like, damn. Like, around my belly button, I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, like, this is so weird. So she's touching it, cleaning it, making sure that it's good. She sits me up. When she sits me up, that pain that I felt, I was like, what the fuck? Started crying, and I'm crying, and she's like, I know it hurts, but we gotta try. And I'm like, this hurts so bad, and I still got the catheter on me. So she's like, after today, we gotta take the catheter out to see if you can pee on your own. The next day, it's now my 3rd day in the hospital. And it's the day that they take the catheter off. By the time, I need to use the bathroom was like in the afternoon. So I call a nurse. My mom was there, but I needed a nurse to help me up. So I call a nurse to help me up. And I was so scared to get up. I didn't want to get up. I was like, I don't want to feel this pain. So she picks me up. And when I sat up, all I remember was screaming because I was in so much pain. And I'm just like, whoo. I'm like, I don't want to get up. She's like, come on, Aaliyah, you got it. Like, trying to cheer me up. And I'm like, okay. So I get up. And I'm just crying every single step that I take because it was just so much pain. And I go to sit down on the toilet and I can't pee. I'm telling myself, like, pee. So the lady's like, just breathe, don't think about it, try to pee. So my mom comes in and she's like, try to pee, Aaliyah, come on, you got it. And I'm just like, I can't pee. It's not coming out. And I'm panicking, and my mom's like, relax, take deep breaths. Relax. My mom tries to turn on the water to try to see if it'll help. And I'm like, Mom, it's not working. I can't pee. She's like, okay, let's go lay back down and see, a little bit later. It's okay. That whole day I tried to pee and I couldn't. So another nurse comes in and she goes, it's time to put your catheter back in. And I'm like, what? Like, that shit hurt so bad. It just hurt so bad. When they're putting it in and when they're taking it off, even, it just hurts. So it's now my 4th day in the hospital. I'm eating, I'm not getting sick, which was a good sign. So they're like, you could be able to go home today. It's going to take you 2 months to be able to, do anything. You got to be on bed rest, everything like that. So it's time for me to go home. When I get inside that car, I'm driving. I used to live in Camden. And Lord knows them streets ain't smooth. They bumpy. So my mom's driving as slow as she can. But the bumps hurt so bad. Like, I know, I'm sorry, and I'm crying. Because the pain is just so it's unbearable. They sent me home with the catheter. They told me that I was gonna have a nurse that was gonna come and, you know, check my temperature, check everything like that. She was gonna try to, you know, see if I can pee without the catheter on and everything like that. I had her for 2 weeks. My mom decided that it was best that she stay home with me to take care of me, you know, when I didn't have the nurse. I was grateful that I had my mom there with me. I was laying down and I was thinking to myself, like, this really happened. And I was only allowed to take certain medications at certain times, but when the medication will wear off, it was painful. And it was hard. It was hard to know that I had to go to physical therapy to help me breathe, and that I couldn't just get up and go to the bathroom when I wanted. 2 weeks that are done, my mom is now the one that's taking care of me. One day, I want to say I was sleeping. My mom took the opportunity to do what she had to do outside. My mom is always somebody who likes to go work in the yard and stuff and plant her flowers, water her grass and stuff. So I woke up from my sleep one day and I needed to go to the bathroom. I needed to pee, but I couldn't get up by myself. My dog Thomas, he's sitting there, he's laying on the floor, and I'm like, Thomas, go get mommy. Go get mommy, I gotta go pee. I'm calling my mom, she's not answering her phone. I'm calling my mom, she's not answering her phone. I hear her outside watering the grass, but I tried to get up and I'm like, I can't get up. I tried, and I'm calling her, I'm like, Mom, and I can't even yell. I couldn't even yell. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you don't realize how much muscle you use in your stomach until something like this happens. And I'm looking at Thomas and I'm like, go get mommy, go get mommy, go get mommy. Fucking dumbass dog not doing anything. So I'm like, oh my God. And I'm getting mad and I'm crying and I'm just all over with emotions. And I'm like, Mom, I'm still trying to yell. I'm like laying on my back flat because that's all I could do. I'm looking around me and I'm trying to find things, throw out my window, maybe she'll hear it. So I'm crying and I'm trying to get up and I can't. It's like I felt like I was paralyzed. I just couldn't move like a mom. I just couldn't move. That I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna pee myself. And I was so... Like 2 minutes after that, my mom comes up to the room and she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And she starts crying. And I was so mad at my mom at the time. And I yelled at her. I was just so mad at her. But I knew, you know, she didn't mean anything by it. I knew, you know, it wasn't her fault. But she started crying. And I tell you something, after that, she checked up on me every single minute. But that's when a part of my scar opened up, and unfortunately, because I tried to put strength into my stomach, just below my belly, it opened up. It was a little hole. So I had to go to the doctors, and basically what she did was poke a hole even deeper, and I had to clean it out. So she told me there was nothing I could do, that the hole had to close by itself. It took like a month for that to heal. I had to pack it with like gauze and stuff, and it was just so uncomfortable. The doctors told me that my weight would be very inconsistent. I would lose weight, I would gain weight. The whole insides was basically taken out. So my body was going to take almost a year and a half to heal, if not that, even longer. He opened me up during the surgery. It was beginning to push against my lungs, and it did. So, you know, my breathing was going to be something that I was going to struggle with, and I still do to this day. I struggle with it. My life, my body was never going to be the same again. But I am still alive today. I am blessed. I am grateful that my mom helped me throughout the whole thing. My body is not the same. I still struggle to this day with dealing with my health, my scar. Just not too long ago, I actually got an injection for my scar to loosen up, because I can't wear jeans for more than an hour or two. There's days where it hurts like hell. And the guy who actually did my surgery, he owns an OBGYN office near me. So where my hole was, when it healed, a lot of my skin was attached to it. So he actually did a procedure where he basically cut that skin and then sewed it so that it was nice and flat. Not as flat as we want it to be, but it's better than what it was. It still hurts like hell. If there's somebody who is going through the same thing, be there for that person and give them so much positive energy, because in my mind throughout that whole time, being home in bed, not being able to move, not being able to do anything, I felt like I couldn't do it. I was so depressed. I was having anxiety every day, and it was just so hard to go through that. At the end of the video, I'm going to be posting up pictures of my tumor, my scar, how I looked after my surgery, just how skinny I was after my surgery. I looked sick. I didn't look like myself. I didn't feel like myself. My whole life, my whole perspective on life completely changed. But God gave me another chance at life. My doctor said if I would have had that in my stomach for at least one more week, I would have died, because I would have suffocated to death. Thinking about that, it just makes me even more grateful. It really does. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for hearing me share my story. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I want to hear everything that you guys got to say. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys, and I love you guys. Peace. On my Instagram, I have the picture in black and white, but this is the raw picture of what it actually looked like after surgery. And as you can see, it is clearly a huge scar. So this picture is actually going to shock you guys just as much as it shocked me. But this is my tumor. As you can see on the bottom, there's this white part. That's actually the bowl that they had inside the surgery room. And the doctor told me that my tumor was so big it couldn't even fit inside the bowl. It is so shocking to me. I can't believe that that was inside of my stomach. But it's just unbelievable until this day. In these next photos, you'll actually see what I look like 2 months after my surgery. I was really skinny, bony, couldn't even tell who I was. In this next photo, yes, I am at the club, period. After my doctor cleared me to go to, party and stuff, I was like, oh yeah, it's lit. But this is actually how skinny I was, and I just don't look like myself, guys. In the next 3 photos is the procedure that my doctor did to inject my scar to soften up the keloids that I had. It was a very painful experience. It was very scary. I literally cried the whole entire time. He also cut out the skin at the bottom of my stomach where my first hole opened up, and it was all attached to each other, so he wanted to loosen up the skin. In the next photo, you'll actually see a month later, this is actually what my scar looks like. It was still pretty bruised up, and at the bottom you can actually see where he stitched it up. And this is what my scar looks like today. We've had a couple incidents that has happened after my procedure. Back in September, when he injected my scar, right around my belly button, it was actually a hole there that actually healed up, so thank God. But there's actually fluid that needs to get drained out. I'm currently waiting till when I can get in for them to drain it out. My procedure got pushed back due to the coronavirus. But this is what it looks like today, and it's been one hell of a roller coaster dealing with this scar and dealing with the different ways to feel confident in it. But this is my warrior wound. She's beautiful either way to me, and thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys like my video.